and welcome to my first ever reading vlog. If you're watching this, it's possible that you've seen my other videos, and at the moment that I am saying these words, I don't know what those videos are because I am still currently in the process of figuring out sort of like what to put out as my first videos. But otherwise, I also plan on giving you little updates on what I am reading throughout the week, which will be a new experience for me. I thought that I would pop in and say, hey, and start this vlog for this week. It is Sunday. I don't know if I mentioned that. Hello again. It is still Sunday, except that it is now much later than it was when you last saw me. I am in the process of editing what I am planning on being my first video on my channel. I'm currently waiting for the music that I want to do its thing so that I can kind of go on to the next step of the process, but it is fairly late and tomorrow is Monday, which means that I do have school, but I thought that I would just check in and say, hey, I didn't do any reading today, which I know is kind of the point of these reading vlogs, but for me, this is also kind of like my first week of getting my channel going, and so yeah, I've been working on that today pretty much all day, just figuring out the filming. I ended up filming the first video twice. It should be up by now if all goes well, and it'll be my October book haul. So if you haven't watched that already, you can go back and watch that, and hopefully it's decent. Hello again, here's Lily in the background for you. I finally finished editing my video and it's actually exporting right now, so I thought while I was waiting for that I would go ahead and give you a little bit of a reading update. So book that I am planning on reading the most probably this week is called The Woman in the Window by A.J. Finn. This is actually a book that I am buddy reading with my friend Taylor. Our goal is to be halfway through it by Halloween, which is at the end of this week. So I basically have, a week to get through that chunk of the book. I am obviously not very far. Anna Fox lives alone, a recluse in her New York City home, unable to venture outside. She spends her days drinking wine, maybe too much, watching old movies, recalling happier times, and spying on her neighbors. But when Anna, gazing out her window one night, sees something she shouldn't, her world begins to crumble, and its shocking secrets are laid bare. So this is definitely one that we picked because it is a thriller and it's like spooky season, so we wanted to read something kind of spooky. Good morning. It is 7 a.m. on Monday. I am about to head to work. I'm actually sitting in my car waiting for it to warm up. It is the 26th of October, and it is snowing right now. I have a group chat of teacher friends, and all weekend we were trying to debate whether or not we would have a snow day today, which is our favorite game to play. I will check in with you guys later. Hello, it is Tuesday. I actually just got home a little bit ago. I went to the bookstore because I got a call that the book that I ordered had come in, so I went and spent some time at the bookstore, and then I just came home and took a shower, so I'm in for the night. Lily, do you want to come say hi? Say hi. Okay, so my first video, and I think the only video that is up on my channel as of this moment, or as of tomorrow, because it technically goes up tomorrow, but by the time you're seeing this, it should be on my channel. Anyway, that video was my October book haul, except that it is October 27th, and I just went and picked up 3 more books from my local bookstore. So I think I'm gonna do kind of like a mini haul for you here today. This first one is one that I technically included in my October book haul video, and that one is The House in the Cerulean Sea by TJ Klune. I am really excited for this one. I got it because I have joined Book Roast's G from Book Roast. I have joined her Patreon group, and so this was the pick for her like Patreon monthly book club, I guess. And so yeah, this is the one that people voted for. It's a fantasy. The House in the Cerulean Sea is an enchanting love story masterfully told about the profound experience of discovering an unlikely family in an unexpected place and realizing that family is yours. Oh, I think that sounds really good. This sounds like it's going to be kind of a feel-good story. I like it. I'm excited for this one. So I ended up getting 2 more books from the bookstore that I had not really planned on getting. The reason I got 2 middle grades today is because I am planning on participating in the Believe-a-thon for the month of November. That is a readathon hosted by Gavin from How to Train Your Gavin. I love his channel. I love watching his videos. And he started a readathon for middle grade books, which I think is really cool. I haven't ever participated before, and I don't really read a whole lot of middle grade, but as I was going through my shelves, I realized that I actually do have a decent amount of middle grade books, and then these I actually looked for today because these were 2 that I remember hearing good things about from Gavin, who reads a lot of middle grade, obviously, and Jade from JD Ray Reads reads a lot of middle grade, and I know that she also is a huge fan of Victoria Schwab, so they both had really good things to say about these, and they were the only copies at the bookstore when I went today, so I decided while I was there and while they had them, I might as well go ahead and just pick them up and try to include them in my TBR for the Believe-a-thon. This one is obviously much more fitting for the month of October, but I am going to save it and read it during Believe-a-thon in the month of November. This one is about Cass, and she is able to communicate with the dead, and her best friend is a ghost. And apparently they go on adventures, I think. She can pull back the veil that separates the living from the dead and enter the world of spirits. Her best friend is even a ghost. And when Cass meets another girl who shares her gift, she realizes how much she still has to learn about the veil and herself. I really like the cover for City of Ghosts. I think that it looks creepy, and I love the fact that it has the cat on the front. I don't know, like I'm almost kind of getting like some Brother Bear vibes from this just because of the fact that she like has a connection to bears, and she, I guess, somehow is like transforming into a bear. So I don't know if she like becomes a bear. When Yanka wakes up one morning to discover, to her horror, that her legs have transformed into bear legs, she knows she has no choice. She must leave her village before her neighbors shun her as a monster. So Yanka leaves home and enters the snow forest with her pet weasel, Mousetrap, in order to gather clues about her mysterious past. But the snow forest contains many dangers, including creatures from the fantastical stories Yanka believed were only legends. And just when Yanka draws close to discovering who she really is, she's faced with a terrifying threat that could trap her in the forest forever. But yeah, this one sounds really good, and I am excited to include it somehow in my TBR for November. So that is my little mini haul. So I think what I'm going to do now is actually watch Gavin's Believe-a-thon TBR and see which middle grade books he picked for his November TBR, and then I might spend some time this evening figuring out my November TBR. Otherwise, I might watch some other booktube videos, or I might read and read some more of Lily, what's it called? The Woman in the Window. The Woman in the Window. I might read some more of that.
Version, there are some rules and things, which I will get into a little bit later on. Firstly though, I do want to say November is a huge month for me because I am hosting Believe-a-thon, which is a month-long readathon dedicated to reading children's books. So that can be from picture books to young children's books to children's to middle grade.
It is Wednesday morning, and I did a little bit of reading last night, so I thought before I head off to work that I would update you a little bit. I am still not very far into this book at all, but I'm liking it so far. So it's about Anna Fox, who is actually, so she lives alone and she spies on her neighbors, and that's really kind of all we knew at the beginning of this. But it turns out that she is a child psychologist, and the reason that she lives alone is because she is separated from her husband. So her husband and her daughter do not live with her anymore. And she has been suffering for the past 10 months from agoraphobia, meaning she is afraid to leave her house, she's afraid to go outside, she's afraid of crowds. So it's just been her stuck in her house. And so one of the things that she does is spy on her neighbors. It's broken up by like daily entries. So she just sort of like takes us through each day, and they're relatively short chapters, which I like, and it's very just sort of like stream of consciousness, where she just sort of talks about what she's experiencing, but also just like what she's thinking, and she thinks a lot back to like experiences with her husband, since her husband isn't there anymore, and it's very apparent that something happened to her 10 months ago, and that's why she's living by herself and unable to leave her house. She is suffering from some kind of PTSD, but it is unclear at this point what happened. So anyway, I am liking it. Nothing's really creepy so far. It's just a lot of like odd interactions. She's also a part of this online like forum called Agora, and it's like this chat room with a bunch of people who have agoraphobia and are stuck in their homes. I don't know if you can see that. I am not very far in at all. Like I'm on chapter 17, page 82. I'm not a very fast reader. I do have parent-teacher conferences tonight, but the way that the schedule is, I think that I'm going to have some breaks in the afternoon where I might be able to do some reading. I might also do some grading. I might pick this up and read this a little bit as well. And if not, then I'll read some more when I get home tonight, and I will check in with you later. Hi guys, it is like 4:30 on Friday. I am done with my week. We made it through. It was a good week. It was a good week at work. It was just long with parent-teacher conferences this week and like kids gearing up for Halloween. It was just a long week. But tomorrow is Halloween, and I originally said that I was going to be kind of catching up with a friend to talk about our buddy read, which is The Woman in the Window by A.J. Finn. We are actually going to push that to Sunday and kind of talk a little bit about where we're at and sort of catch up on our thoughts on this. And I don't know that I want to read any more of it because I don't know, I don't want to have read like too much ahead of her, you know, like I want us to kind of be in the same spot to be able to talk about what's happening. So I think I'm going to hold off on this one, but I don't want to start anything new for like my November, like anything from my November TBR, because I am participating in a readathon, and the readathon technically doesn't start until November 1st, which is Sunday. So I have all day tomorrow to edit this vlog, for one, and read. And it's Halloween, so I'm just like, I need to do something else on Halloween. So I'm just like, I have one more day of October to read something, and it's Halloween. So like, I feel like I should do like a spooky read that's not this one, because I don't want to get too far ahead of my buddy on this one. So, but I also don't want to have another book carry over into my November reads. So I'm gonna really kind of challenge myself, I think, here. I don't know the last time I was able to just sit down and like read a book in a day. My goal is to read all of Practical Magic and then watch the movie. And that'll be my Halloween. That'll be my day. I will read this book, I will edit this vlog, I will watch this movie, and then Sunday I'll be ready for my November TBR. Just for anyone who's interested in knowing what this is about, I will go ahead and read the description on the back. For more than 200 years, the Owens women have been blamed for everything that has gone wrong in their Massachusetts town. Jillian and Sally have endured that fate as well. As children, the sisters were forever outsiders, taunted, talked about, pointed at. Their elderly aunts almost seemed to encourage the whispers of witchery with their musty house and their exotic concoctions and their crowd of black cats. But all Jillian and Sally wanted was to escape. One will do so by marrying, the other by running away. But the bonds they share will bring them back almost as if by magic. So yeah, I'm really excited to read this and then compare it to the movie and just have like a fun, spooky Halloween reading, movie watching day. So that is my update for now. That is my little check-in. This one, I guess I could share a little bit about this. Obviously, I don't want to get into too much of what's happening because I don't want to spoil anything, but basically, we know that the narrator of the story is, she has agoraphobia, which means that she doesn't leave her house. She is afraid to leave her house. She has panic attacks when she tries to go outside. I'm just real curious to know if like we're ever gonna find out like what made her this way, like what sort of got her into this depression. And then she's also real obsessed with the new family that lives across the street. I think it's the Russells. It's a little weird, but you also, at least I do sympathize with the narrator. I think at the start, when like before I knew a whole lot about what this book really was about, I was like, oh, she's a weird, creepy lady who likes to watch people from her window. Like, that's super weird. But now, like, you learn that like she's gone through some crap and life is hard for her and she's lonely and she's depressed, and like there is a moment where she is sort of caught watching and she feels like super embarrassed and like ashamed about it. Like, she's very much aware that what she's doing is weird, but she's lonely and like she doesn't ever get to go outside, and so like that's her way of sort of like living vicariously, I guess, a little bit through the people that she's able to watch in her neighborhood. I don't know, maybe that makes me weird, but I do feel bad for her. She's in a tough spot, and yeah, I do hope that things get better for her. But obviously, something's going to happen that's going to complicate what is already a rather complicated situation for her in her life right now. We will see what that is, and we will see what happens. And if it's creepy, it's not like creepy right now. You just feel bad for the woman who has to stay in her house. But it's supposed to be like a thriller. So I'm guessing, yeah, something happens. I don't know. I have some theories. I obviously don't want to share what I think might happen because I don't want to spoil anything. But so far it's good. So far it's good. I'm really excited to see what my friend has to say when we have our little talk about this. And then I am excited to finish this. Obviously, I will finish this in the month of November, and will let you guys know at some point what I think once I finish it. All right, hi guys. I'm here to wrap up this vlog. I'm actually a day later than what I had planned for this week. So yesterday for Halloween Day, I spent a good portion of my day reading this book called Practical Magic by Alice Hoffman. I really enjoyed this book. I didn't quite finish it yesterday because I did some other things with my day, but I did actually finish it this morning, and then I immediately watched the movie. I really liked the book. It's interesting because there is this omniscient third person narrator who's able to tell you what each of the characters are thinking all of the time, and sort of kind of bounces between all of the different characters and really gives you a lot of their background information and what they're thinking and what they're feeling and like what has happened in their past. There's not a whole lot of dialogue. Like, you don't get a lot of character interaction. They don't really have to say a whole lot to each other because we, the reader, are given all of that information that we need to know what's going on. So there's quite a bit of description and like background info and less dialogue, which usually I prefer to have a lot of dialogue. I prefer to have a lot of like character conversation. But I really liked this. I liked how this was laid out. I haven't read a book with that sort of style in a long time, but I liked it. And I felt like it really allowed you to get like inside each character's mind and really get to know them, which unfortunately is not something that I think comes through as well in the movie. I like the movie. It had been a long time since I watched the movie, and I didn't really remember a whole lot about it, which was helpful in reading this because I kind of got to read this fresh without remembering a whole lot of what happens in the story. I didn't quite remember like all of what happened in the movie, and I can say that it is very different from what happens in the book. Like, they add a whole lot that has more to do with like the drama and the action, whereas this book, I feel like the book is a lot more subtle than the movie, and I actually liked the book better than the movie. I don't think we're surprised by that. I liked the movie. It's the one with Sandra Bullock and Nicole Kidman. It's fun, but I feel like in the movie, like, it's very clear that they're witches, and like they kind of own the fact that they are witches, and it's something that they actively talk about. Whereas in the book, it's not really something that they ever talk about. It's just sort of like these magical things happen. There are two sisters named Sally and Jillian, and their parents die, and they have to go live with their two aunts, Aunt Jet and Aunt Frances. And it's pretty clear that Aunt Jet and Aunt Frances are witches. Specifically, their sort of like focus is like love spells. And that has an impact on the two sisters who kind of know that something's going on, that their aunts do these types of things for people. It really does have an impact on how they view love and how they allow themselves to accept love in their adult lives. And so the beginning of the story is them as children living with their aunts and like what life is like for them then. And then as the story progresses, they grow up, and it really focuses more on the two sisters as adults and like sort of where they ended up. I don't think I want to say much more than that in case you are really interested in reading this and you don't want a whole lot of spoilers. But I thought it was really good. It's definitely one that I could see myself reading again, especially like around Halloween time. It was definitely a fun one to read on Halloween Day. Like, I just turned on like some music, I lit my like fall candles, and I just sat back and read this for a majority of the day. It's been a while since I've read a book and been able to watch the movie and sort of compare the two. So this was definitely a fun read for me this week. I'm really glad that I took the time to actually sit down and try and read a book in a day. The other book this week that I am still in the process of reading is The Woman in the Window by AJ Finn. This is my buddy read with my friend Taylor. So she and I actually met earlier today, and we were able to sit down and talk about our theories for what we think is going to happen in this book. I don't want to say, because I don't know if we're right. I have an idea, she has an idea, we have some theories about her and like the trauma that she went through and her husband and like this weird family that lives across the street. The pieces are kind of coming together, even though like the big thing that she apparently sees hasn't even happened yet. But there are still a lot of clues as to what is going to happen, and I keep saying she, Taylor and I, my friend with whom I am buddy reading this book, she and I had a long conversation kind of throwing around all of these details and like trying to piece together some of our theories that we have for what's going to happen. When we do finish this, I will make sure to include somewhere my like ideas about this and what our predictions were and whether or not we were right. And then it's going to be a movie soon, so she and I will get to, at some point, watch the movie together and then talk about whether or not we liked the film adaptation for this. So this one I'm still in the middle of. We basically got about a third of the way through. We are currently on page 109, which is the start of section or chapter 23. Our goal is by the end of next week to just be like another third of the way through the book so that we can talk about it and then finish it up after that. And then she and I will probably start another buddy read, and we'll decide what that one is, and I'll let you know, obviously, because I'll be reading it. So yeah, those are the two reads for me this week. This was really interesting. It was fun. It was interesting trying to like put a vlog together for a week. I'm still in the process of editing all of the footage. I'm not really sure how it's going to turn out. I've never done a vlog before, but from watching other booktube channels, the vlogs tend to be, for me, like some of the more interesting videos to watch because you kind of get like a look into someone else's life and like, not in a creepy way, just you kind of get to see like little slices of their life, and I think that is interesting alongside like their discussions about what they're reading and what they think about the books that they're reading. So I thought that for this week I would go ahead and try to vlog. We'll see what I include. We'll see whether or not this video ever actually gets posted. But yeah, we'll see. For now, if you have made it to this point in this video, thank you so much for watching. Thank you for being here. If you liked this video, go ahead and give it a thumbs up, leave a comment down below, and I will see you guys in the next one. Bye.